Hey there! My name is Molly Driscoll and I'm an educator at the Orlando Museum of Art. Today I'm participating in #MuseumFromHome to talk about an artifact from the museum's Art of the Ancient Americas collection. Here's an image of the artifact that we're going to discuss today. This artifact was created between 550 CE and 950 CE and is from Veracruz, Mexico. Veracruz is located here on this map of Mexico. This artifact is made from greenstone and is called a yoke. Carved yokes like this one were part of the equipment used by players in an ancient ball game. The yoke slips around the waist and was used to deflect a hard, solid rubber ball from damaging the torso of the players when they returned it. In many regions, players were required to hit the ball with the trunks of their bodies rather than with their hands and feet. It is still debated amongst scholars whether ancient ball game players wore the stone yokes or instead wore yokes made of a lighter weight and material. More than likely, this elegantly carved yoke was only used for ceremonial purposes before and after the important ball game was played. This ball game that I'm describing is considered the first team sport in world history. It was a long-lived and widely ranging traditional ball game played in Mesoamerica. Mesoamerica is the historical region and cultural area that extends from central Mexico through the territory which is now made up of the countries of Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and northern Costa Rica. Mesoamerican peoples played many types of ball games with different rules and styles of play, though for the most part they shared similar ball courts and symbolic functions. When looking at this yoke, we can see a low-relief image carved around the top and the front of the yoke. This image is based on the traditional mythological creature that scholars have nicknamed the crouching earth monster toad. The toad, whose face you see at the front end of the yoke, is transformed into a feathered bird, whose feathers you can see on the top of the yoke. This mythological creature is associated specifically with sacrifices to the ancient sun god. On the two rear ends of the yoke are profile faces of the hero twins, known from a Maya myth as great ball players who challenged the lords of the underworld and won. As we can see from this yoke, the ball game was not just a source of sport and entertainment in ancient Mesoamerica. It also had important symbolic associations. Some scholars have suggested that the movement of the ball across the court is related to the movement of the sun across the sky, representing a battle between day and night when the sun must pass through the underworld before rising at dawn. Another theory among scholars is that the ball is a symbol for the continued movement of celestial bodies, which create seasons and rainfall, which in turn need to be nourished through the act of human sacrifice. Though the ball game has been seen to be associated with human sacrifice, it is unclear who was sacrificed and when, and how that sacrifice related to the ball game itself. Archaeologists are continuing to study the ancient cultures of Mesoamerica with the hope that one day shining new light on this topic, as well as other aspects of the ball game, a long-lived and deeply meaningful Mesoamerican tradition. Reply to this by sharing your thoughts on the carved greenstone yoke, or your thoughts on the ancient ball game. Want to stay connected to art and new ideas? Be sure to follow the museum's social media accounts for more inspiration. You can also subscribe to the museum's e-newsletter by clicking on the link in the description to sign up. Thank you!